Nice.
They can.
Hey, team.
Team.
Oi, that's loud.
Woohoo!
Hello.
Hello.
Hi everyone.
Can you hear us? Please tell me you can hear us.
It's pretty bright.
Please tell me.
Yeah, does it look too bright?
Am I whiter than normal? Impossible. Grateo.
I was like, what am I still?
I wasn't wearing North Face, by the way.
Yeah, I was just letting you watch it for a minute as well because I knew what you were doing.
Oh, no.
Am I still still?
Can we?
Just a slow moving man, Ben.
I'm sure I moved my head.
Samuel?
What? Don't wait.
Are we okay?
No.
Oh,
Don't?
Hello.
hello, hello.
Oh, yeah. Oh, ah.
Ben, say something.
Hey, hi.
Something.
Go. Seamless.
Your button journey is ongoing.
It's got a
The button
slight
journey.
delay to it, so you always feel like you need to
Yeah.
press it again. Yeah.
Is
I
that
know.
just, yeah.
It's very annoying.
Welcome, everybody. It's a winning episode, finally. It's episode 94, which wasn't a winning year for the Crows. However, welcome, Ben.
Thanks, Dan.
Welcome,
the
Lauren.
quiz
quiz
downstairs
just
is so loud.
Shut the door.
Hi. Sorry, distracted by the quiz master there.
Yeah, it's quiz night here at
At the Torrens Arms. We're at the Torrens Arms this week.
Sam's just going to shut the door. 94. Hi, Sam.
Hey, Dan.
We obviously beat GWS by 16 points, which was fantastic. It was good to get back in the winners list. We have our special guest, Lockie Brown, here with us tonight, who has been with us previously. You may remember him. I look forward to having him to chat about the season so far. But before we get into any of that, 94, Ben, tell us about it.
94. So, debut player, I reckon it's going to be dear to most of your hearts. It's none other than the Sarge Ian Perry.
Oh,
Yes.
it's finally time.
I brought him up last week with Mark Bickley.
Yeah.
Some of you might like to know, and he's not too sure where he is.
He's
Could be anywhere.
back in WA from what I read, I think.
Well, he did. Bix did tell us that he might have got into crypto early.
Well,
into
I thought
Bitcoin.
I read something about he was in building, but that could be an incorrect memory. So,
Someone tell us where the Sarge
yeah.
is. If you know in the chat, just hit us up.
But yeah, from 98 to 07 for Perry, 116 games, 129 goals. And from last week, you'd remember the significance of 129 goals
Yes. Tony Modra.
in 1 year. Perry in a career.
Crazy.
So there you go.
Don't understate it.
Now, speaking of quizzes, everyone's favourite time. Let's see.
I don't know why I don't just look this shit up before we have the
Yeah.
podcast every week.
Bring it on,
It
Ben.
is. It's for the next little while. It's going to be pretty predictable what I'm going to bring. So, anyway, 1994. So, out of 15 teams, what position do you think we finished on the ladder?
12th.
Ninth.
7th.
It's fantastic work, guys. It was 11th.
So it was close.
You were close. You were close. So, out of that, how many games do you think we won to get there?
9?
6.
7.
It was 9. So
Yeah.
Well done.
Dan is. I think he is the quizmaster.
Ben's
Dan,
looking at
so
me
far.
for an answer, and I'm like,
We were 9 wins and 1 draw. So our first draw
St Kilda?
came in there. I didn't really check.
Pretty sure.
Best and fairest. Who do you think won that for 94?
Mark Bickley.
No.
No, I don't know. Should we let the listeners guess?
Was it?
Do we have anyone
Just
in the
to
chat
help the
who cares
listeners
about this
out,
stuff?
when we did our video before we even started doing a podcast, I said it was my favourite oldie player.
Rodney Maynard?
No.
No, I don't
No
know.
one in the chat is registering this one, so
No.
Tony
give it
McGuinness.
to us.
I think
let's
they
get
were
it
just
done
saying,
then.
hurry
Yep.
up, Ben.
All right. Sean Wren.
Oh.
Oh.
Strawn Wren.
Did he do his knee that same year? I feel like he did. Maybe it was in the next year,
Not
95.
sure. Yeah. Leading goal kicker.
Modra.
Yep. How many goals? If we went from 129, what do you reckon you got? You backed it
93
up
or
with?
something? It wasn't 100, was it?
Just the 70.
Ooh.
So a bit of a drop off.
Oof.
And we had 2 All Australians.
Ben Hart.
No.
It's going so well.
Nigel Smart again.
No one
are
rhyming
you
with
laughing
hard or
about?
smart this week.
You got a
Is it a
guess or you just
repeat?
laughing?
Nah, just
Is there a
laughing at you
repeat?
guys.
Mark Ricciuto.
I'm not even listening.
It was Rashudo.
Rashida. And Andrew Jarman.
No, it's probably a little
You
bit
never got
more
one.
obvious.
Sean Reid.
Yes.
Is that it? No.
No, the only
Thank God.
I feel like the success of this
got-
segment just keeps going up every time I get.
It's a good way
that
to
it?
break the flow of the start of the
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah. All right, South Australia won the State of Origin by 2 points that year. We've still got the years born for 94, but the other couple of, I
thanks.
think, interesting stats. Both Matthew Wright and Darcy Fogarty are on 94 games.
Yeah, right.
And Trent Potential kicked 94 goals through his career.
Yeah.
But
Could
yeah,
have been anything.
anyway, finishing this, I'm getting a bit of a feel that you'd like me to finish this. So, born 1994.
Not sure where you're getting that impression, Ben.
So, it's a bit of a theme with our born 1994, at least for the first few. We got Ratkins,
Oh, yeah.
Brad Crouch, Charlie Cameron, Mitch McGovern,
Oh,
Oh,
and then it switches around a bit. We got Troy Menzel. Yeah,
Does it?
well, he came to us instead of leaving to go somewhere else. And then doesn't fit with all the other ones is Patrick Wilson.
oh.
Oof.
Super SNFL player. Did he get 1 game?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
memories.
Now, anything else you want me to talk about 94
Please,
or we've
no.
had enough?
No.
Yeah, I think.
1994,
Thanks.
I got my pen license.
Oh, well done.
Thanks for your research as usual.
No worries. I'm feeling really, like it's
No, we-
worthwhile.
1994, I bought my first ever CD.
Oh, yeah.
No, maybe it wasn't actually 94. It might have been 93. It was E17 though.
Yeah, good
just so you
choice.
know.
Yeah. No, I meant that. But thank you, Ben, and we look forward to 95 next week.
Do you?
Well, I won't be
I
here,
do.
but
We do secretly love it. We also just like to tease you.
yeah.
Yeah.
But other things
I'm
that
going to start taking it pretty damn personally unless I get some
Kate
positive
says she loves the
feedback.
quiz.
Oh, thank you. All
just
right.
to finish the
it's
intro.
on next week.
We obviously have Brisbane Lions at the Gabba this Sunday. We're also going to have another dog act. We're going to have some post-mid-season discussion with Lockie Brown when he comes in after. And some of you may have been waiting for this, but we're going to bring back AFL Fantasy Chat tonight because
Why?
there's
Nah.
a team just like the Crows that have come
risen
hot,
from the ashes.
risen from the ashes of 20th in the league up to 18th with a bullet. And
Fucking bullshit.
suddenly everyone's talking about it. So I thought we might as well have the segment come back.
Oh,
What? Because you scored well, so that's why we're doing it.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
jeez, I wish I'd get away with that sort of crap for fantasy.
Ben, if you were hosting, you could just announce it like I did.
All right.
Does that mean you're going to host?
No, I'm saying that's fine. That's good.
Okay. Everyone's been waiting
Young
3
Bean
years.
says no, doesn't want it.
Nah.
I agree, Young Bean.
Well,
Couldn't
you're not
care
hosting.
any less.
Dead.
Yeah, it's dead. You're hosting. You can't look at the screen. Hurry up.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
Get on with
what's
it,
on there?
Dan.
Oh, what's pumping you up this week, Samuel?
I don't have anything. Sorry, I never have anything for this segment. Well, I've only got one good. If I use that here, I've done.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Lauren, what about you?
Well, we talked about it in the car on the way, but we've both been watching The Bear. I've been watching the new season, and you've been watching
I'm a season behind.
1. No, 2.
Two.
Now, I'm not going to comment on what I think of The Bear so far because I haven't actually finished it, but what is pumping me up is the return of good television because finally, after the writers' strike, all the good TV is coming back. So Severance is about to come back.
Oh, I'm so-
season 2
I'm so
for that.
hyped for
Can't
Severance.
wait for that.
Yeah.
And yeah, all the good shows coming back. So that's what that is what is pumping me up.
Amazing.
Excited.
That's a good one. I haven't watched the Bear yet, or not the third season yet. Is it third or fourth?
It's the third
third.
season.
Yeah, I've watched it. I've watched up until what's just come out, and it's great.
I've watched that. I've watched watching The Boys at the moment.
Yeah, I've
the
actually
new
caught up
season of
on that. I've caught up now. It's improved.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
House of Dragon, obviously season 2 that started. That might not be up your alley, but you know, all the shows that you were waiting for have come back, and it's just nice.
I've been watching hour-long recaps on House of the Dragon to work out where everything's coming from in the lore.
We did talk about this last week because it's pretty intense.
It is very intense.
Yeah, but I think I've figured out what's going on now.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Family Tree helps a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Ben,
Nah, nothing really pumping me up this week.
Nothing pumping you up?
Not that kind of week.
anything happening in the garden?
No.
Frost.
I know
Just
this
pure
is
frost.
Jeez, it was -2 leaving, like waking up this morning, -2.
-2.
It was 0.9 degrees in the city, and my car had ice on it.
Yeah, I know.
I had
It's
to go get a
annoying.
bowl of water from
Yeah,
the
it's
kitchen.
so annoying.
This might be veering into Ben's backyard territory, but we planted a planter box thing with some
Plants?
veggies in
Veggies?
there.
Oh, what have you
seasonal veggies. We
Yep.
got some baby spinach and
Yep.
some. What else do we have? I can't remember. Strawberries.
And now they've all got frost and died.
Well, no, but we also did a little composty not caterpillar worm garden.
Yeah,
worm
Caterpillar
thing.
Farm.
Now
is
the
a-
worms.
is a bit of a different way of doing it, but yeah.
My
worm
daughter's
farm, yep.
called all the worms Jessica, so they're referred to as the Jessicas.
Yep.
And they're in. We can't see them. We've put lots of food in there,
Mhm.
and it doesn't seem to be anything happening. Do you know what happens? Do they died, or do they go under the food?
Well, did you give them bedding material to sleep in?
No.
So
Is that a thing?
you'd normally give them like some.
We give our Italian greyhound bedding things to sleep in.
I think you normally have a bottom layer with like paper or straw or something that they can escape to, so they're
Interesting.
not waterlogged and get cold. Because
So they might be dead.
they may be cold and may have died in the cold.
Oh, God.
Well, how about that then? Hey?
Hang on.
This is taking a turn that I
That's
didn't
the-
want.
Sorry, everybody.
Just one word of that.
Sorry about that.
Snowy says the Dallas Cowboy cheerleader show.
I've heard about this. And
I haven't bought into any hype. What have you heard?
No, I've just heard it's good.
Okay.
Yeah, so I need to watch that too.
Well-
I think is it on Netflix? I think
It
it's
is,
on Netflix. Yeah.
We'll take that offline, Ben.
That's
also-
definitely
Yeah.
something I can get around.
Yeah, and Quirky, I want to know where this sandwich is you found as well. That sounds good.
Let's get into
Yeah.
a chat about the game.
Oh, okay.
That's right. GWS on Saturday night in the freezing cold, as Sam was that night when he made that sound.
That does bring back some memories.
It was definitely cold.
That visceral yell.
The visceral yell, but we're happy. That's a happy yell because 16-point win. We've come back out of the bye fresh. And has something clicked? Has something changed? Or will we find out what's really going on this Sunday against the Lions up at the Gabba? Thoughts, Lauren?
First game I haven't gone to this season, and it was purely because no one else was going. It wasn't for any other reason. Well, it was very cold. Very cold.
We weren't the
no-
only ones, by the way.
Speaking of nobody
Yeah.
else going, 27,000 or something.
Yeah,
Was it 27,000? There was hardly anyone there.
we got some chips.
It did look pretty bare at the time. My thoughts were, what the hell? Why haven't we been playing like that for the entire season?
Yeah, no,
Thanks, mate.
It's actually kind of, it's bittersweet because where has this kind of football been? Like, why has it taken so long for us to get to that point? I mean, I think we know why. I think we know why. The reasons, playing too defensively, trying to tighten up the defensive game, all of that kind of stuff. But I don't know. It was really a joy to watch, and there were no passengers in the game. I didn't think everyone had a great game. There was definitely some highlights. Some of the players, obviously, Isaac Rankin, like what a
Yeah.
freak of nature that guy is. Like, can you believe that he's playing for us? He's
His
playing
first
in our
half
team.
was insane.
He is only contracted to the end of next year. They better cash him the F up.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
He should be the
Give
highest
him
paid.
whatever he wants.
Yeah,
Because if he goes, that's it. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Surely he won't go
He
anywhere.
was
I doubt he would,
was
but-
pretty motivated to come home. you would have
Absolutely.
thought.
But you know what I mean? Like, you just have that, oh, God, he knows how good he is. You know what I mean? Like, he could get money anywhere. It's a
think-
bit concerning.
I think he might have just gone the shorter contract because he had the potential to get a bigger pay
yeah,
rise.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Anyway, obviously, Zach Taylor it was great to see him out there. I know a lot of people were anti the fact that he started as a sub, but let's be real,
Captain
people.
Nick's telling everybody that he would never do that.
Well, I don't think he would purposely do it, but let's be real, peeps. Like, he came in very, very late, like the night before kind of thing. I think it's not that big a deal that he was a sub.
Oh, I don't think it's
not
that big
great.
of a deal. I just think it's...
If he sub again this week, it will
But
be.
people are like carrying on about how, I can't believe they did that. It was like, can you not believe it? Like, it seems pretty...
Oh, no, I can absolutely
You know?
believe it. It's exactly something we would
I
do.
don't mean like that.
We're not Robinson Crusoe. It's not as if we're the first team to have done it. It's pretty common now for debuts to get put as the sub now.
Yeah.
a
Also,
lot of
like,
teams are
because
doing it.
he's replacing Chase Jones. He doesn't play in the back line like Chase Jones does. So it's kind of an awkward thing. There was no other emergencies to cover Chase Jones. Like, he was the smallest player.
Yeah.
Everyone else was a tall. So it does kind of make sense that they would put him as a sub. Not the ideal situation, but you can stop carrying on about it, people. Come on.
But
Yeah.
for coming on, that without kicking a goal, that's one of your
Oh.
more impressive first kicks in.
Oh,
AFL
absolutely.
football.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
like, was so in the game, which was so great to see.
And thank God Murphy really just hammered that goal home. Just finished off the good work.
It would have been nice.
My God.
Goodness me.
But yeah, it was a really fun game to watch. I watched it twice on the telly, and it was sad I wasn't there, even though it was so cold.
But he got ripped off as well. I'm sure he had a couple of pretty good tackles. He's credited with 0 tackles on
Yeah.
He
the
did have
AFL
a
website.
couple of good tackles.
He's
Yeah,
got
you're right.
nothing on AFL.
That's
Yeah, right.
ridiculous.
They stopped watching.
Yeah, gotcha.
Stats guys checked out.
Speaking of stats, Ben, you got anything else?
Yeah, a little bit. So some impressive wins for us for a game that wasn't going to look that easy. So our efficiency going forward, we were 55% of their 44. So that's like last year sort of stuff. That was us actually finding a connection between midfielders, defenders, and a forward line. So how about that? We won clearances 44-36 against a pretty good midfield. So that's pretty good. They were second in the comp for contested possession, and we won that 144-125. So, yay us. I feel like I'm just saying shit to people all eating chips.
No,
Just jealous you don't have chips near you.
I listen
don't
better
have
when I'm
chips,
eating
so-
chips.
And the other thing that showed that we had our pressure up was our 13-8 tackles inside 50. So we were bringing the pressure that we haven't really been able to consistently show all year, and we had connection to our forward line, which we haven't really had all year. So
Yep.
we'll see how repeatable that is going
Yeah.
forwards for the rest of the year, but that was a much improved performance.
Time for some negatives.
Sam? I was
Uh,
going to throw to you, but you just come in with your
Oh,
negatives.
that's okay. We absolutely need to have at least a part showing against Brisbane this week to make that seem anything good. GWS in that first half looked absolutely atrocious, really. And I'm not saying that we didn't cause that in some way, but yeah, look, I find it hard to read into that game too much because they just, when they look bad or when they are bad, they look really bad, GWS. And I just got that feeling in the first half when we got that really nice lead that that's what was going on. So, look, I don't want to be a massive Debbie Downer, but yeah, I need to see that somewhat repeated to be happy about it.
No, I think you're
I
not
think that's
alone
fair
in that.
enough.
Yeah.
But we did manage to hold up their momentum because they did start finding that run and gun handball play,
Yeah.
which could have been very easy for us to have fallen over and just let them win. So
It kind of looked
They-
like we were going to there just for a few minutes. We were going to let them run over us.
It was stressful
Yeah.
for a period where it was, but again, it's that kind of like, Pavlovian kind of like thing where you're like, GWS kick a couple of goals on us and you're like, oh, there it goes.
Yeah,
like,
that's right. Yeah, exactly.
There were a few positives, if I can bring it back to positives.
course you can. Yeah, go for it.
I've got negatives too, but
Yeah.
you haven't touched on them, so we'll bring those up. But Ben Keys, it was good to see him back in form. It was one of his better games this year. He's been probably a bit of a nothing player this year, but that was a better game. Rochelle had another good game, 18 disposals and 2 goals for. If he kicked straight, it could have been anything. Dawson broke the shackles after the first half and still got 24 disposals and 10 marks. So pretty good effort from him. Rob actually took 4 marks, which was huge. I think that's like
Double
Comments?
season tally.
double his average.
I have
So-
to take one off because he did spoil Dawson going for a mark as well. But
Oh, yeah.
it was improved. And he did actually look like he wanted to tackle as well. So
That's
he-
good.
I feel like it was an improved showing, but it was an improved showing for about a quarter. It wasn't
Yeah.
through the entire match.
I think if he can get closer to that level, he's just about
Serviceable.
tolerable for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Just to have him as our ruckman. That's
Oh,
fine.
he's
So-
better than Strawn.
So
Let's be
yeah.
honest.
Sam Berry also had a pretty good game after people were calling for him to actually be played as a proper mid. He got 21 disposals, 5 clearances. Saligo got 6 clearances despite having less of the ball than he normally does. Dowling followed up pretty well with 16 and 3 clearances. Obviously, we talked about Zach Taylor and some of his nice moments.
It was interesting that he got put straight onto the midfield. As
Yeah,
well.
that was great. Straight in.
Yeah.
First.
Dowling just staring at him with a
Yeah.
stink eye.
Yeah, my spot.
How do you get a go?
couple of the concerns I had. Obviously, Cook being subbed out on only 7 touches and a point. You can probably see the curtains coming for him this week, but maybe back to the Sandville. But I mean, I hope not. But he's just not getting enough of the ball.
No, it's the one where we like what we see, but it's not enough.
Well, I want him to play in a Murphy role. Why can't he have the 16 disposals that Murphy's getting? At least he has some skill.
Well, yeah, Murphy was the other concern that I had here. Like,
Yeah.
Where does he lie?
So
Like
people
everyone.
have been defending him this week. I don't understand. He tries hard. Absolutely, no one's ever going to dispute that. But his output is just so poor.
Well, he
Like-
tries hard, he gets into dangerous positions, but then his, I think we were talking before.
His follow up isn't great.
No, well, and his disposal efficiency was poor, but he's also his penetration when he's kicking. Like my example with Sam before was the one where he got the ball. Himmelberg was by himself in the 50-metre line, arc. His kick forced Himmelberg almost to come back towards him instead of just continuing to run into goal for an easy Joe the Goose, whereas then he had the 35-metre shot at goal, which he missed. So it could have been an easy lay-down Mazaire goal, which it turned into a point. So
My question is, like, when is his golden ticket going to run out? Like, it's hard to.
The coaches keep talking him up. So
Yeah.
they obviously see something that I don't.
there's something that he's doing that they've asked him to do, evidently. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Those pressure acts.
Yeah, but I think it's very easy to notice the poor disposal. Maybe it's harder to see what he is doing that they're asking him to do. I don't know what it is.
Yep. Anyway, should we get into some votes? Ben, what did you
Sure.
have? Give us your 3, 2, 1.
So it was Rankin mainly for that first half particularly. The only thing that was just lacking from him this game was finishing some of his work. Otherwise, it would have been quite a mega game. Pretty much just give him all the votes if he'd done that.
Yep.
2 I gave to Dawson, who had to work through a bit of a tag, a fair bit of attention, but he still stood up and did a great job. And 1 I gave to Hinge. He's just racking up the possessions at the moment, 31. When it's 77%, and I think it was like 600 odd metres gained. So
That's absolutely his best game of the
he's
season.
he's doing a good job.
His
so
run off half back there too, was just like ploughing through those players
Yeah.
through the middle. Like that was just so beautiful to watch.
and he didn't give away any cheap goals after a previous goal. So
No, he
that
did
was
not.
Nice this
It's always better.
Yeah.
Much nicer.
Lauren, who'd you have?
3 for Isaac, 2 for Hinge actually, and 1 for Dawson to swap him over.
Nice one. Sam?
I went the same as Lauren.
I went slightly different. I got 3 for Hinge. Like you said, Lauren, I think it was best game for the year, but he's just building nicely.
Yep.
I had 2 for Rankin. I think if he kicked a bit straighter, would have definitely been the 3. And Fogg, I gave 3, the 1 with 3 goals
Yep.
and 6 marks.
You didn't have this set up.
I did.
Oh, did
Just
you?
changed it, mate.
Oh,
What are you
God.
doing?
my Lord.
Hi, I'm Tyson Edwards.
You're such a quiet achiever.
This guy doesn't see me fumbling around the buttons for half a minute.
Also, Grateo Cook might be a wing forward, but I can guarantee you he could play Lockie Murphy's role better than Lockie Murphy. 1 tackle inside 50. So, yeah, not the best for a small pressure forward, I wouldn't have thought.
No.
He's
So I
the
s-
smotherer, not the tackler.
yeah, true.
Who'd you have for your quiet achiever, Ben?
There's a bit of a body of work. I think others have given it this year. I haven't.
Scholl.
Is Scholl, yeah. He's kind of he just keeps being a decent winger this year, and yeah,
It's good.
doing-
It's great.
doing well.
Love it.
We love to see
Love
it.
it, Lockie.
And I might even say he had a decent game against a good team, Sam.
I didn't rate it.
All right.
Lauren?
I thought he was pretty
He was
good.
in my special mentions.
I
Actually,
did have a special mention for my quiet achiever. I almost gave it to Keane. His opponent kicked a lot less goals this week than last time.
that's true. Mine was Jake Saligo. It was between Sholly, Berry, and Jake. I gave it to Jake mostly because he had 17 disposals at 94% efficiency, which is really good, and he also had 6 tackles, just one below Sam Berry's 7. So a very good game from Jake, but quiet. I would say.
Yeah.
I gave it to Rochelle. I liked his game. I think it was one of his better games this year. I think he's just working. I think after he copped that sort of abuse a bit earlier on in the year, I think he sort of worked on a few things that just make him a lot more dangerous player in our side.
Yeah.
Love the haircut too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the sensible haircut. though.
Yeah,
I'll go
great
with that.
reveal. I
And
thought it
reckon
was
he-
like David Beckham, in the 90s. Did you watch that documentary where everyone was giving him shit and then he just came out with a fucking shaved head and he was like the bad boy of soccer. Like that's what Josh has done.
And I reckon if he'd kicked straight, he would have been a non-quieter achiever. He would have
Yeah.
actually got into
Absolutely,
the
would have
votes.
got
Yeah,
the votes for
We got
sure.
5
for
or
sure.
something.
It was you got to remember how wet it was. Like it had been raining all night that night, so it was very, very soggy.
Worked
on
all
the
right for
deck.
GWS.
Walker was creating splashes when he fell over, wasn't
Was
he?
Yeah,
Up in the
he was
southern end.
drenched
Yeah.
like in the first quarter.
Well, speaking of Tex, I think this might be the first time he's got a soldiers on. I was going to say quiet achiever.
Oh,
I
him down over?
I stuffed up with my own notes. I wrote SO, which is soldiers on.
Well, that'd be the first time any men's player has won the
Yeah,
Soldiers.
it would,
Yeah.
it would actually. But Tex, his influence, 2 goals and 2 assists. I thought he just showed his worth, which we know he has, but he was missed in that time he was off. So it was great to have him back. And that is it for votes. Samuel.
Yes.
We're going to go into your
Oh, we
segment.
doing my segment now?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Do
That's
it.
right. I did remember that in the. We actually did a little bit of prep.
If you want to know what's in the spring, get into Rowan Jarman.
I got one good thing, unless anyone else wants to chime in. The BBC labelling Ronaldo Mistiano Pinaldo in the Euros coverage. Did anyone see that?
No.
He was lining up because he missed a penalty earlier on in the game. And so when he was going the kept penalties at the end, they put that under his name, and there's been outrage about it,
I can imagine.
and I just found it very funny. So that was my only good. Does anyone else have
Amazing.
anything positive they wanted to say this week?
No.
No, we already talked about TV shows, so go on
Yeah.
the bads.
Footwear sacrificed at half price and equipment slashed to half price. Rowan Jarman's huge half price sale. Don't miss it.
Now I had a in between. I was going to.
thought you were going to say good then after I laid it out.
Remember, I said there was one where I was going to get you guys to decide whether goes in the goods or bad.
All right, yeah, fair.
So Henry had his school camp. It's a 1-night camp, which seems a bit short to me, but anyway, 1-night camp. But the thing that I found odd, it was where do you reckon you'd normally go for a school camp?
Woodhouse?
Yeah, Woodhouse.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Forest.
Tell me it's at AFL Max.
the camp was at AFL Max. Jeez, not just quiz questions for you, Dan. So.
That's a
I've
sleepover.
heard about that.
That's
yeah.
not a camp. That's a sleepover.
So they
like-
slept in that giant shed?
Yeah,
It's
I've
like
heard
an
about it.
extended birthday party, I would have thought.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, their school camp, I had to drop him off at school at like 5:45 or something. I don't know, 7:15, I don't know. It was very early, very dark.
Yeah.
And then they drove down, spent the day at AFL Max, slept on the big oval there.
yeah, right.
No,
Had a movie
no,
going or
No
something?
need for pajamas because there was nowhere to get changed properly. But
Oh.
and then came back the next morning. It just seemed like
Bit awkward.
very different to my days of going to camp. As you're suggesting, very outdoors sort of
This is,
stuff.
I mean, when I was younger, we did go to school camp in year 6 and 7, but when we were younger, we had the sleepover at school.
okay.
That kind of is. I mean, going to AFL Max is a bit better than sleeping over at school. Like
Yeah.
that's not very cool.
I remember sleeping over at this like weird castle thing in Victor Harbour up on the hill. I've forgotten what it's called now, but I remember sleeping in there. That was weird.
Well, last year he was in year 3 and he went to Mylor for the night, so that was
That's
a bit
where
more
we went when I was in
outdoorsy.
year 6.
But
Lizzie
yeah.
said you go away with kids on camp for more than one night, mate. F that.
Yeah.
No, well, I got to deal with this kid for 365.
Side note.
24/7.
Side note. It was a bit-
Lizzie's saying that as a teacher's perspective,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
But you got into that profession.
Yeah, that's
Also, Ben, a bit bold of you bringing up the word camp on this podcast.
Yeah.
So-
And it was an AFL camp. So
Oh.
Yeah, well, is it good or bad? I'd say it's like, I think that's bad.
I'm going to go with bad just because it sounded completely like unprepared.
Yeah.
Like there's so the, where
How much
do
are
they
they
sleep?
charging for this crap?
Just
What
on
do you
the
have to
ground.
pay for this, Ben?
I don't think we had to pay for the camp. It all comes out of our school
School
fees,
fees.
which is enjoyable.
Was there AFL kitchen and bar pizzas?
I didn't hear about a midfielder's margarita or a premiership pepperoni, but
These guys got no idea what we're talking about.
It's all right.
Oh, we better do Pete's
Pete, yeah, Pete's going to talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
Pete should make the pizzas at
but
AFL
yeah,
Max.
he said he had a good time. He had sore legs from kicking the ball so much, but there you go.
Fair
Yeah,
enough. Too.
okay. No, I think that goes in the bads. Yeah, I'm happy with that there.
It's cool. I'm glad you started the bad part of the segment.
Yeah, it was lucky, really, wasn't it? Look, I'm going on slightly different tack here. So I've introduced a bin Hall of Fame. So basically, if I've deemed something bad enough and I've put it in my potential bads more than twice in history of this podcast, I'm making a Hall of Fame.
You should also let us guess what it is.
I don't know if you will.
Is it those cars, the Raptor ones?
It's that should be actually. No, it's Pat a Cake Bakery. So I went there at 11:30 last week. 11:30. And no Kranskis again. It's all I want from there.
Which one's a pat cake again?
Duthie Street.
When are
You
they?
went there again? Hall of Fame?
Yeah, it's in the
Yeah.
Hall of Fame.
When are people
Yeah.
eating these Kranskis? If
I
they're
don't know.
Like first thing in the morning. Is it tradies going?
Well, I just presume they don't ever have them. But still up on the board. I looked. It's still
Have
on the
you-
menu.
Did you ask?
Yeah,
I didn't ask.
Did you say you got any out the back?
Nah, but they've got a second warmer and there was nothing in there. So, like, they're kind of...
Usually, if they might have some out the back, you can
Yeah,
take it
okay.
home and heat it up. So you should ask next time.
All right, I'll ask next time. But
Yeah.
they're still going in the
Will
bads.
there be a next time?
There may not be. Because
So-
every time do you know what? I went in there a few
Sick of
weeks
this
ago.
shit.
I went in there a few weeks ago and had a look. They didn't have anything I wanted. It was only just after lunch, so I just walked out.
Is anyone else on the chat near that?
Does anyone else live in, around that Mitcham area?
Go on
Tell me whether they provide any goods at any time.
and tell them if not that we've slandered
Kate
them.
wants to know if Henry enjoyed the camp, Ben. Oh, sorry. Got him when he's
Oh, look
showering
at him
down
on
on the chips.
chips. Liz-
Finally, he's eating chips. He's like, great, now you're talking to me?
Yeah, have a go at me. Well, who's got the chips right next
Oh,
to
I
him?
couldn't put them there, could I? You'd be leaning over like an idiot for the whole first
At least
segment.
I'd be eating like an idiot. He did enjoy the camp. Yes, he had a good time. He backed it up. He had scouts that night as well. Tuesday last night as well. So
What a trooper.
Busy
then,
man.
then he's decided, I don't really want to go to school this morning. And it's like, well, no, if you're going to scouts, you
It's
get
fair
to
enough.
school. So,
Of course.
But he did have the night off. He's been managed this week through football training, so he had the night off tonight. for football
Hamstring
training.
awareness.
I think just turning into a very grumpy child.
Yeah, fair enough.
Lizzie wanted to nominate the Crows baby merch in the bads. Apparently, it's
Ooh.
terrible.
Yeah, all their merch is terrible.
Yeah, well,
We've gone through this.
exactly. That's what I should have said. It's like, show me something good in there. A late intro to the bads is sweet potato, just in general.
Oh.
I don't know whether I've put it in there before, but sweet potato, anything is terrible.
I'm loving these.
Sweet potato chips. Like,
Everyone in the
why?
chat,
Why
just-
ruin
For Dan.
chips?
Confirm that Sam's tripping. All right.
Ben agrees with me.
I don't know if
Just
Ben
no
agreed.
good.
I'm not completely anti
Corey's-
sweet potato, but I definitely, if there was a chip available, I'd go the potato.
Yeah, right.
Sam Corey Sutton says Duthie Street Bakery cheese Kransky gets the thumbs up.
Duthie Street, the pat a cake. Is he talking
Well,
about?
he's saying Duthie Street Bakery. Is it the same
Oh, is that the one down the road? Actually,
Yeah.
they've changed all their signage. It used to be this organic thing, which was fine, but it never really, I never really rated it that highly. But if it's if that is that one and they've upped their game, I'm there. All right.
Check it next time. All
Thanks,
right, should
Corey.
we do Pete's Pieces?
No, I got one more. Hang on.
All right, you
Oh,
still
my
got
God.
it.
I got the worst thing. Umpire, Andrew Dillon coming out this week and saying the umpiring has never been better.
Drinking the bathwater, don't you think?
What? What are you looking for? Oh, sorry. I didn't realise.
Oh, sorry guys. I got
There.
a little foggy.
Dog act. We didn't prepare this at all, so Sam didn't know this was the dog act for this week. But good segue, Sam, into
Sorry.
exactly that. What an idiot. If you want to kill your career right at the start, get the fans offside by saying something like that. There's no issue with
I
the
just don't
umpiring.
like. How can you even say that when you've had to like recall multiple decisions
It's
during the
just
season?
So
like,
dismissive of the fans. Like,
Have they been down at the Crows getting tips on how to handle the media?
right?
There's nothing wrong here.
the
yeah.
AFL are training the Crows how to handle the media.
It did have a Crows vibe about it, didn't it?
It did,
Yeah. Like we know better than everybody else.
Yeah.
So
So shut up.
Mate,
the customer is wrong.
even just one part of the aspect of now the rules. I was saying to Sam earlier, I don't know what's holding the ball anymore. What's going to get called?
Neither do the
maybe,
players.
maybe the umpire's never been better because they can't be wrong because no one really knows
That's
if
true.
it was supposed to be a free or not.
Mm.
And then they bring in a rule where it is a free because if you get one arm held, you're holding the ball with the other arm, you're lying horizontally, you've just got to try and get it out. But
Yeah.
if you drop it, it's a free. I don't know how you don't have gravity to kick it, so it's a great rule.
Now, Laura Kane, who I'm going to refer to from now on as Mummy Kane, she came out.
That'll be just yourself there. Dan,
She used to
I think.
come out. No, I'll keep going with it. It's fine. But she came out and was doing like videos, talking about the incorrect decisions and that, and apparently stopped that from this week.
Yeah,
So it's not happening.
they've come out and said they're not going to address frees
Yeah.
on a week-by-week basis.
Well, they're not going to address it to the public.
Ah.
They're going to address it with the clubs directly, is
right.
what they were
So
saying.
they're
Was
cutting the fans
wording
off.
If it didn't affect the result of the game, that they wouldn't do it. But
They said that if it does directly result, like
Affect
what
the
you
re-
said, they will publicly
have a go.
talk about it. Yeah.
Anyway,
Young Bean, Schrodinger's umpiring. Umpiring is both good and bad because no one knows the rules, to be sure.
Yeah.
that's right.
That's so
true.
good.
Is the umpiring really good as it's ever been, or is Dylan just a peen? Dog act. Yes.
A pain.
He's a pain, all right.
He's a big peen.
Tell you what, it hasn't been a great start for the new administration of the AFL, has it? All these clubs are sitting around complaining about rules that they don't understand, and then the changes to the draft that seem to be potentially coming in this year. Yet we got to where we're at.
See,
and-
to me, like, Laura Kane, she said,
Mummy.
like, we talked about this last week, and Mummy Kane said that those rules weren't going to be put in place this year. Like, she said that. And now, after we talked about it last week, I saw an interview with her where she said, no, they could come in this year.
Yeah, she's
That's
lost
not
it.
her making that decision. That is from the top. That is someone above her saying, this is what we're doing, and you're the mouthpiece.
Yeah.
Let Mummy
Like-
Kane do her job.
So I think it's kind of silly to go on and on about how I've seen all the Twitter comments about Laura Kane, and again I think they've just covered in misogyny for most of them. But they're going, this is it for her, like quit, like sack her, blah blah blah. Like, mate, she is the puppet on the strings. Like, I don't think she's going to be making that many decisions, to be honest. I hate to say it, but it's a boys' club.
Where have we heard that before?
Don't know.
Can you bring your own laptop so you can read the comments?
I agree, Quirky.
Quirky says Laura Kane will be at the top at some stage. I hope she is, and I hope she fucking sorts this shit out
Yeah, piss Andrew
in
Dillon
her
off.
own time.
Piss him off and his no lips. All right.
I'm Mark Ricciuto, and here we crow.
I like what Shade of Hades says. The best thing an umpire can hear is, I don't notice you out there. The changing focus and interpretation of the rules combined with 4 field umpires trying to have the same ... I don't know what. That stopped there. What are we doing? Oh, Pete's
Pete's
Pizza.
Pizzas,
You can do that now?
Yep, we'll bring
Alright.
Lockie in while we're doing it, all right?
All right.
We're doing Pete's Pizzas now. All right, here we go. Oh my God, it said it was connected to the Bluetooth. It's done it
Oh,
again.
no.
Why is it doing this every time? Oh, now it's disconnected.
What have you
Right.
done, Lauren?
I haven't done anything. This thing's a piece of crap. It says I'm connected.
Hello. How are you? Good.
Oh my God, I can't handle this every single week.
This is champagne.
All right, we're going to get back to Pete's Pieces. We'll get back to that
We'll
because
get
I
back
can't
to
handle
Pete's
that
Pieces.
right now.
Pete's Pieces will be back. But right now, we got Lockie Brown here from Gabtra Inclusive. It's great to have him here, as usual. No, Nicole. You're saying no. We'll go back to that later. That's fine. But Lockie,
We're live, babe. We're live.
We are live. We haven't had you here for a little while, so it's great to have you back, Lockie. And
thank you.
Tell us what's been going on in your world lately. How's the podcast and all that going? Podcasting?
It's going very good. Done 16 episodes of Lockie Does Footy, and biggest episode I've actually done was the Gather Round edition back in round 4.
Amazing. And I know back in round 4 you got to spend a bit of time with the North Melbourne Footy Club.
Yes, I did, and did some interviews before their game against Brisbane, which they unfortunately lost by 70 points.
Oh, some might say that's not unfortunate, but should we talk about the Crows and where they're at this point in the year? How do you see it?
I reckon if they can have a chance in the set, if they can win more games, they could potentially finish 9th.
You reckon 9th?
Or maybe 8th if a sneaky chance happens.
Oh, 8th.
What kind of calculator are you using to get that result, mate?
Just saying if Crows have the results go their way.
Yeah, that's true.
So what you're saying is we're a mathematical possibility, as some people would say.
Yeah, I'd thrown that one out the window last week, but apparently we're back on.
We're back on. That's it, Lockie. Obviously, the team are pretty keen to make amends with that win over GWS. They've talked up their chances of still being able to finish the year strongly. Obviously, Riley Thilthorpe should be back this week as well. I guess this is open to everyone, including you, Lockie. What's our preference as fans that the team does for the rest of the year? Do we want them to close out the year strong and push for finals, even though it seems a remote possibility? Or, do we want to bottom out and get a Sid Draper with one of our top picks?
It's a bit of a wild card, really. If results don't go their way, they could probably lose out the season and get Sid Draper high up in the draft.
Yeah.
And Tyler Welsh, father-son.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Tyler Welsh seems like a given.
Yeah, I reckon there's enough Vic Metro talent and whatnot. It's not a given that we would miss out on Sid Draper even if we dropped a little bit.
That's very true.
And we also want to bring in people through free agency and trade. We're a much more attractive club if we're not getting belted every week and finish nearly bottom. So it's not just about where your draft pick is. It's about whether people want to come and play for your team.
That is a very optimistic way of looking at it, Ben.
That's the kind of guy I am.
How about you, Lauren?
Look, I don't know. I don't really care about the drafting side as much as everyone else. And like Ben said, I think there's plenty of talent. So for me, I'm like, if we're going to make a statement, we might as well just push for it. Like, I don't know. I would rather see us win games, honestly, than lose games. So, that's just for me mentally.
It'd be good to see what we actually have, and if we have got that, how Nixie keeps saying we're close, but we just need to execute better. If that's true, we should be able to do it in this back end.
And I think we can still try and win games while at the same time getting a few players some exposure that they haven't had. So that's where letting Zach Taylor have an extended time in the team, and potentially as we go forwards, if Curtin's form picks up, or one of our other 2 draftees, Edwards or Ryan, seems to be showing a fair bit lately. So I think it can still be a balance of trying to finish strongly but also expose some younger players. Yeah.
Now, speaking of trade and free agency, I know Corey Sutton is on the chat, and I saw he brought up yesterday or the day before about Matthias Philippou being up for grabs potentially at the end of the year, coming back to Adelaide. And whether he'd go to Port or the Crows. For me, I think he seems like the kind of player that would go to Port. Apparently, he supported them growing up and all that, but through his dad being a player. But in the early years, any thoughts from you guys on that one?
I reckon Matthias Philippou would likely go to Port, given that his dad grew up in the area, played 3 games for the Dogs back in 1995.
But he was a Magpies junior, wasn't he? I think.
Yeah, he was, and he played for Woodville West Torrens later on.
Yeah. I can see it going down that way, but who knows, if we have the money and he wants to come home, he might think about the Crows.
Yeah, well, he played a lot last year, but he's been very much in and out of the side this year. So
and St Kilda aren't much chop, so you'd think he'd be a chance to play if he was up there.
It'd be interesting to see what St Kilda would be trying to get back in return for him.
I know
I personally wouldn't want to pay a particularly high price for him.
I think we spoke about him when he was getting drafted, and he had some pretty outlandish kind of comments about himself.
He was going to pick himself. Yeah. Pick one. Yeah.
Pick one. So it hasn't really lived up to that hype, his own hype.
Not as yet.
All right. Well, Lockie, tell us a bit more about what's happening. Are you playing footy again this year?
Definitely playing for Athelston this year, and
Yeah.
haven't even lost a game this year.
Oh,
Whoa.
how many games have you played?
7 games, won all 7 of them, including against Kenilworth.
Nice one.
What position are you playing this year?
Mainly a centre half forward this year.
That's a solid position to play.
Definitely.
Kicking some sausage rolls.
Yeah, I kicked one against Christie's Beach, and I kicked one against Salisbury a week later.
Whoa.
And
Nice one, mate.
Kenilworth are the team to beat, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, but now they just lost 2 games this year.
Yep. All right. So you guys are the team to beat now.
Definitely.
Get out there to Athelston. Are you playing this weekend?
Yep, against Christie's Beach away from home on July the 6th.
Up at Christie's.
Yeah, my advice for the Athelston players is make sure you fill enough petrol up for your cars because we need to win.
Absolutely.
Bit of a packed lunch to get down there.
It is a bit of a far drive.
It is. I actually drove out to Port Noarlunga last week, so not too far from there to see a gig on the night of the Crows game. And yeah, that is a trek and a half.
Definitely.
Yes. All right. What else have you got for us, Lockie?
Also for the State of Origin, I think I got my picks right here on my phone for the South Australian State of Origin team.
Oh, okay. Let's hear him.
Tell us about it.
For down back, I don't think Brendan Cox will be playing because of his injuries. I'm going to have to go with Nasai Wanganeen Malera down back. With Brendan Zerk-Thatcher and Jack Lukosius.
Interesting.
Oh, backline for
The backline for Luco.
Yeah, he could potentially go to the Crows next year, Luco.
We've heard
Wow.
this. We've heard this rumour swirling around a little bit.
Would love to see it.
Half back, I'm going with Rory Ladd, back to his old position.
Yep.
Mason Redman, and I'm going to have to go with probably Callum Welke.
Okay.
Yeah, good choice again. Love that.
It's tough, isn't it?
Yep. Midfield, I got Jordan Dawson,
Okay.
Jason Horn-Francis, and Will Day.
Will Day. Okay.
This is a good team.
Where have you got Rankin, mate?
Half forward
It's coming.
Half forward.
with Darcy Fogarty and Will Hayward.
Oh, yeah. That sounds beauty, doesn't it?
It does.
4 forward line, I got Cossie Pickett, Tyson Stengel, and Harrison Petty.
Oh, Petty. I don't know about that. He could end up at the Crows too, but hopefully not for what we were
And who
originally
have you
gonna
got? Who have you got in the centre there, mate?
Brody Grundy in the ruck, Connor Rosie, Ruck Rover, and Lockie Neal at the Rover spot.
Jeez, that is a pretty hot to trot squad, isn't it?
pay. Who's on the bench?
I got Sam Draper, George Hewitt, Bo McCreary, and I'm going to have to go with John Noble.
Oh, yeah.
As a wild
I
card.
like John Noble. I reckon he's underrated.
I reckon with my Crows hat on, I'd be advocating for Fogg or Tex over Petty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think Fogg was in there. He was in half forward.
I'll put him a centre half forward.
He's that good, I'd put him in twice.
Yeah. What was the other one? Lost my train of thought. There was another player you had on the bench who could end up at the Crows.
Caleb Daniel.
Yeah, Caleb Daniel. We'll see how that plays out as well. He's not getting a good run at the Bulldogs, so
Nope, he's just currently not playing for Luke Beveridge right now.
no. So he's a chance. There's a few players out there that are a chance to come to the Crows, I think.
Apparently. Either that or they're just trying to drive up their price.
Well, there's always
Yeah.
that option, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Lockie. Obviously, we'd get around that team if it comes to fruition. So the State of Origin is obviously a big topic of conversation every year, and it depends who you talk to about whether it's going to come back or not. Lee Matthews
Oh,
isn't
they're
keen.
leaning towards bringing it back, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find it hard to see it happening, but hopefully at least they can change the buy structure and just have a week off and find something to just highlight in that week, whether it's an under-18s game, State of Origin, start of the women's season, something like that would be good.
That's it.
Definitely.
And Lockie, we're going to get back. We're going to get into chatting about the game this week shortly. But who have you got for us out of Crows and Brisbane up at the Gabba?
I'm going with an upset here. I'm going with the Crows by 2 points,
2 points.
There you
I'd
go.
love to see that.
which I could be talking about in my Lockie Does Footy episode tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Get around that if you haven't already checked out Lockie's podcast, Lockie Does Footy.
Is it on YouTube, Lockie?
Yep, it's on the Lockie Jupiter TV channel.
All right, awesome. We'll put the link somewhere.
Get around it, people.
Got it.
Thanks, Lockie.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Lockie.
you coming in. All right. Thanks, Nicole.
Beauty.
Good to see you guys.
See you too.
Marie, we got MJ just talking in the
Yeah,
background
MJ's
there.
Hey, it's Marianne at HH here, or AKA MJ.
Marianne.
Crow, get on it. Here we go.
Yes,
Ben's
MJ.
out of
Still
town,
live,
but we've got to do Pete's Pizzas. I'm going to try this again, everyone, because I'm struggling with this. I'm really struggling. I don't know why it's not working. I'm trying on my phone, and I can't believe it's done it again. What is going on with the bloody?
Come on, Lauren.
I try to download the file, and it makes the email disappear.
Oh,
It's done it on both phones. What's going on? All right.
Pete sent you a virus.
Yeah, he must have. Done it again. Bye. Oh. Apple, up your game.
Hi everyone, welcome to Pete's Pizzas. Thanks again to the Here We Crow crew for giving us all a platform to celebrate together. So I'm going to give you 3 takeaways to chew on after our strong performance against GWS on Saturday night. First up, I'm talking about debuts. Matthew Nicks has been very reluctant to debut our kids this year. He says it's important to make sure they're ready and have earned their spot before putting them in the AFL. We gave Curtin a debut, then subbed him twice. We only debuted Billy Dowling against Richmond because Crouch got injured, and we only debuted Zach Taylor on Saturday night because Jones got injured. And then we annoyingly made Taylor the sub anyway. We're a bottom 4 club that has been let down by senior and experienced players week after week, and yet the kids can't get a look in. Unless, of course, it's a forced change. So to Matthew Nicks and our selection committee, I'm giving you an extra large double dill Dijon Daikon Danish duck debut pizza. And I'm going to keep serving it up to you until you voluntarily debut a kid in the 22 and play them for the entire match. Oscar Ryan looked pretty good against Glenelg in the Sandville. Go on, debut him. I dare you. Next, I'm talking about halves. Matthew Nicks said he wanted us to play front half footy. And I reckon we did that for about half the game. And Isaac Rankin played an absolutely awesome first half. And Jordan Dawson was fantastic in the second half. So to Nicks, Rankin and Dawson, I'm giving you half an extra large supreme pizza topped with pastrami and olives. And if you can do it again next week against Brisbane, I'll give you the other half. Lastly, I'm talking about Berry. Matthew Nicks played Sam Berry in the midfield, where he attended 16 centre bounces. Wow! And Berry rewarded this faith by playing an excellent game with 21 disposals, 5 clearances, 7 tackles and 35 pressure acts with just 65% game time. So to Sam, I'm serving you a blueberry, raspberry and strawberry dessert pizza. Well done. Isn't it amazing how well our kids play when we put them in their preferred positions? Let's see if we can do it again next week at the Gabba. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Pete. Barely got
Pete.
that last one out, but you got there at the
that was
end.
good.
Some tongue twisters from Pete tonight.
It's so true about Berry. Hey, like, it kind of sucks what's been going on with him and what the subbing and all that kind of stuff. And he's obviously contracts up this year, so he's might be looking elsewhere. And he comes out with that performance, like he's just jacked up his value significantly, I reckon.
Yeah, he showed he can definitely play.
Big question is what they do next year once Crouch is not injured. Do they then just shove him out of his position again?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I don't think they can play together. They're way too similar.
Well,
That's what we said about Laird.
Crouch,
I don't know.
Laird
I
and
think
Berry.
Berry's got a bit more like speed burst than Crouch. Like Crouch is like get the ball handed off, whereas Berry like really does take on
Berry
the
can-
contest.
He can kick goals too.
I
Yeah.
think Berry has some evasive skills, but I would not call him quick. I don't think he's quick at all.
Well, he's quicker than Crouch.
Yeah, maybe.
in
a little bit.
comparison.
Yeah.
What
Ben,
would be
you don't
It's
agree?
well, it's just more the mixture of how they all complement each other, and I think that they're not quite different enough to have them all. You wouldn't want them all in there. At
Well,
the same
realistically,
time.
how much longer does Crouch have, like playing?
I don't know. You need to ask
Hard
Mr.
to tell,
Sheen.
because
That.
is he still 28,
Flying
29?
Sorry?
Is he still only like 28, 29?
29.
Yeah, I think so.
So,
yeah.
like in terms of football age, he's still got a fair bit of time, but it really depends on where the Crows.
Well, we wanted to ditch him 2 years ago.
and then
Yeah.
then we gave him 2 years.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
I don't know.
I reckon
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see even this week if we go back in our shells with the midfield and putting like Laird, Dawson.
You know we will, when the excuse will be that they don't want to subject them to Brisbane's very, very
Yeah,
quality.
They don't need to put Laird in the midfield now.
That's what I'm
I think
concerned
it's
about.
pretty like proven that he doesn't need to be in there.
Yeah,
to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we'll see. It'll be interesting to see this
Come
week.
on, guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Brody walking straight back into the mix?
You
Is that the other question?
know what's happening. You know they're going to drop someone like Dowling and bring Smith back.
Do not.
You just can see it already.
No, you can't. No.
You can.
No.
It was certainly noted the amount of possessions he had.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah. And that's the other thing about Nix is that would it kill him to just say something nice about the young guys debuting? He always just goes back to the well when it comes to highlighting players and talking about the older players. Never says anything quality about the young guys.
He talked up Dowling after his debut.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
No, shut up, Ben.
Yeah, he talked up Zach Taylor too.
We had a crap result, and he talked up Dowling. He said that was the highlight.
But let's be honest, the players that he does generally G up are the older players. You can find some instances.
Go on. Find him next week, play him.
All right.
That's your work for the week.
All right.
Excellent. I don't even know where to go from here.
What's next?
Poor planning. Probably social media. I've got the buttons. Sam.
Come on,
I don't know how to
guys.
do it. I don't know where it is.
Oh, God.
Just
This
talk
is an
amongst
absolute
yourselves.
catastrophe.
Out of bounds on the full.
Yes. I'm out of bounds on the full right now. Social media, what have we got?
Twitter. We got one thing on Twitter.
Switchboard's lighting up, Sam.
Yeah.
I've got some text messages.
All right, you do them.
Hear them?
Yeah, do them.
Snowy. Gutless Crom. So over club starting a debutant as a sub. Pathetic. Snowy. I've commented already, Snowy. You're a whingy little bitch. I can say that to you. Good win on the week. This is from Jaden, by the way. Sorry. Okay, here we go. Good win on the weekend. Didn't watch it, but was following the scores and the stats. I do think that trying to win games from here on in will do a disservice to the club and the fans. It'll allow the board to turn around and say, hey, we finished strong. We won some games in the second half of the year. I think that is exactly what they plan on doing, Jaden. I think that's very obvious. I think in order for there to be the clean out that fans want, you need to bottom out this year because it'll give the board nowhere to hide. I'm cool with winning a game or two here and there, but I don't want to hear about no damn finals push. That's papering over the crack.
Yeah.
Well, sure. But, we were pushing for finals last year. I get where you're coming from, Jaden, but I think did you listen to last week's episode with Mark Bickley? Like, they ain't doing that. They're just not going to do that.
No, they're not. No. I understand where he's coming from, and he's saying what a lot of people are saying out there that this year's shot. So let's just, not necessarily go out there and intentionally lose games, but certainly prepare for next year. But we've seen that they won't do that.
I think it's just it's the nature of that high performance industry. People just don't want to tank. They don't want to do that.
Well, Melbourne did back in the day.
Yeah, but Melbourne, that's Melbourne.
I think as when we were talking to Lockie, my perspective is I'm happy for us to keep trying to win, but it's about how we try and win and who we include in the team this year.
Hendo before said in the chat that we're 2.5 games behind the next group of teams, so we can afford to finish pretty strong without changing our pick that much.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
That's true.
It's not going to change our pick a great deal, and I still think in terms of attracting opposition players, if we're just getting belted every week, that's going to put question marks as to whether they see us as a club to come to.
I actually don't mind your take, Ben. I think that's pretty level-headed. Maybe Bix has rubbed off on you after last week.
Yeah. He's always been a happy clapper, though.
I don't know if that's...
That's one of the terms I really don't
enjoy.
I
hate it as well.
I think it's safe to say, if you looked at me, you wouldn't go, geez, that guy's happy. And I very, very rarely clap. So
that is true.
I think it's okay to be optimistic and hopeful and not be denigrated for it. I think one of the things I've not enjoyed the most this season is just how much we love to fight with each other. We actually have a common thing we enjoy. We enjoy the Crows. Everyone enjoys the Crows, and yet things go poorly and we lash out at everybody.
That's where the question is, are we really enjoying it? But
well, whether we enjoy it, we still partake.
I was kidding. I get it. Yeah. But, I also think that the most natural thing is to assume or want your club to be doing the right thing. That's a natural stance. I think it's actually a pretty defiant stance to disagree with the club, and that's why the Happy Clappers thing comes into it, because it's not a natural thing to be totally against what your club is doing. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think that you can like I'm a legit fence sitter. Like I pretty much am like I want to think that they know what they're doing. They know way better than I do. I kind of agree with like. There's some tweets out there like, you know, who are these Twitter people? Like, who are you? Why do you know better than the people that are actually in the jobs? Like, what makes you the expert? Like, I would love to know. And and a lot of the comments would be, well, I'm seeing it with my own eyes. Well, they're also seeing things with their own eyes. So, you know, it's all good being an armchair expert, but you don't really actually know what is truly happening. You never will truly know that unless you're in the four walls.
That's well said. And I think there's just those unhinged supporters who think they know everything, or they don't even want to hear another opinion unless you're hating on the club for what they're doing. And it's like
can't we just be chill with it? Like let's just let it happen. It's going to happen regardless.
You can be constructive about what they're doing without bloody hating on every player and every.
Well, that's it, and I think that's what we try to do. Like we try to be at least constructive. But I'm not going to like I'm also not burying my head in the sand either.
Yeah.
No, I think that's what I was just going to go on and say is that like I think it's healthy and fine to question what the club is doing when you don't agree with it too. Like obviously they're way closer to the situation than we are, but I don't just presume that because they're in that role that they 100% know exactly the right way of doing everything. Like I think
of course not, and no one ever does in any job.
Yeah.
But I think it's pretty like natural to want them to know and
I bloody hope
you know
they
what
do.
I mean? Like
yeah, that's right.
So a lot of people just go along with it. They're going along for the ride and hoping that those people are taking them in the right direction.
I think why we get so passionate and so worked up, or occasionally we all do, is that we genuinely just want them to be good. And
of course, that's it.
And the club, unfortunately, this year has made a lot of decisions that people that follow this club closely maybe don't think is the right way of doing it or the right way of approaching this year. So, like at the end of the day, we all want the Crows to be good and to win. So the negative people out there, you know, have a place. I get tired of it. It's boring. The Happy Clapper comment, I called Ben before. I don't use that term. I just know he hates it. Like it's like, I don't know. Yeah, we all want the same thing. Is what I'm trying to say.
I think I just get, I think the Twitter thing like kind of shits me because we have to be on it. We don't like it.
No,
I see.
Twitter's
we
absolute shithole.
A lot of the negativity and most of it is negativity, and I agree with heaps of it. And there's so much that I don't agree with, and the things that people say and do in reaction to things is just like, what are you doing? Like, abusive messages to the social media team over selections and things like that. It's just like, get a grip, it's sport. Like it's supposed to be about community and fun.
Yeah.
Like I get that it's stressful. I get that it's frustrating. It's emotional.
Yeah,
but,
I think it's reasonable that people are disappointed. Like the chasm between expectation and actual result is the largest it's been for several years.
Yeah.
Like, we were hoping that this is the year we start showing something, and it hasn't happened. So
not only us though, that the club came out and said that at the start of the year.
That was the expectation. Yeah, that's right. So internal, external expectation was this is going to be a year to see. Yep, the Crows are back. They're doing something, and it hasn't worked out that way. So it's fair enough to be annoyed and disappointed, but I don't know. It's not constructive, and we just keep attacking each other, and it's just not my way.
It's not great. It's not keeping the mental state good.
Yeah,
if we're doing that.
Ben and I argue too much at the moment.
You don't want a divided supporter group. You don't want a divided fan base.
Yeah. Well, we're arguing that much that your family members are questioning whether we have issues.
What's that? Yeah, true.
When Ben
I want to get to some comments.
I was just going to say, when Ben and Sam argue, it's like these two old men off Muppet.
Yeah, Statler and Waldorf. Which one's Statler? Which one's Waldorf? There's a few good comments in the chat about this conversation. Nathan said the people employed there should know better than us, but it's hard to assume that's the case if there aren't the results to show it. That's true.
Yeah, which is basically what Ben just said.
Yeah, and he also says, to paraphrase a game designer, people know when something is wrong, but they aren't great at knowing what exactly is wrong. They're even worse at identifying what will fix the issue.
Yeah.
And Kate said, I think I used to blindly trust the club, and that got eroded by some of the moves made, Tippett and the camp, etc.
Yeah.
And that's fair. And I'm not saying that I blindly follow the club. like that because I definitely don't.
I definitely don't.
But I'm like, I try to remain like level-headed about it. Like I'm not letting it ruin my life.
Yeah.
Like, put it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm probably of the four often sit in the most optimistic side of things, but I don't think that's blindly. I think I was still
like I'm not going on Twitter and like going, that's it, I hate the Crows, I'm not supporting him, and then the next week going, okay, I'm back on board, and like calling 5AA and like bitching about the club and all that kind of stuff. Like,
who would that be?
I don't know. It's, Twitter nuffies. Like, just chill. Let's just chill. Let's just ride this wave to the end.
Yeah.
Because we got next year. That's the thing. We've always got next year. That's kind of how I
Are we back
deal
next
with
year?
it. Fuck, I might not be.
We, as in the podcast. Yeah, we'll be there.
No, we're just copying Fremantle.
Can't get worse, can
obviously,
it?
so we'll be.
We've got to get to our 100th episode.
We'll be in the top 4 this time of the year next year, just like Fremantle.
I was just going to say, I went a year early on Freo. I was saying they were going to be good.
Anytime I think about quitting supporting the Crows or doing this podcast, I think the year that I do that is when we'll become good. And I'll look like an idiot.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Remember that.
Us not turning up to the game had a pretty good effect.
Yeah.
I knew that would happen.
Yeah.
And I don't think I would have tipped us, didn't I? I fucking hope so.
Last week you certainly didn't on the podcast.
Yeah, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Is there more comments?
Yes.
Quirky just said, this has been a very weak year to make the finals, which has been the most disappointing bit. We can't even reach the low baseline of the teams falling into the 8.
That's a fair.
It's a very fair call.
I think it seems that way. I hope that the end of the season will make us feel a bit better about it, honestly. That's why I want us to not try and bottom out. I just want us to win some games so we feel good going into next year.
Yeah. The thing is, with such crappy teams, you'd expect like a Sydney and Carlton to get up, but it'd be pretty funny if Carlton did make the grand final.
And lose.
Oh, well, how's the old hype? Sydney
didn't make it.
Sydney lose one game, and apparently now Carlton are clear favourites.
Yeah, that's wild. I don't know.
Because they beat Richmond.
Well, Daniel Gorringe certainly thinks so.
Oh, of course he does. Old Goz, he loves it.
What are you doing? What were you going to do?
I'm just waiting to press a button.
Oh, right. We got some Twitter comments.
Yeah.
I've got to warm up for 5 minutes. Oh, I nearly did it then. They're really light on.
Bozza said, Taylor, Cook and Dowling better be playing over 4. I tell you that. 9 years without Phil. Yeah, we didn't bring that up, actually. 9 years since Phil Walsh died.
I was going to mention that earlier.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's been like that long already.
Yeah, it does seem
crazy.
like,
Seems
although
like it's gone really quickly.
Seems like a lifetime though. I don't think had I met you when he actually got. I think I met you later in that year, didn't I?
not that year, I don't think. Because
was
we met on the night that Hawthorn belted us in a final. I just can't remember.
Oh, was that the year before? Maybe.
Yeah,
no, I can't remember. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But I just still vividly remember that day. It was weird. Just felt weirdly numb that day.
I
it was
remember
a strange feeling down in Tassie.
That was when I'd just kind of gotten back on board with the Crows. I'd kind of started paying attention again after dropping off for a bit. And I was really happy that we'd gotten a new coach because I knew it was kind of all tumultuous at the end there.
And he was grumpy and he just
and
knew
he had the ferociousness of kind of like, he reminded me of Blighty a little bit like that.
Yeah.
Just the ruthlessness we talked about last week with Bix. Waking up that morning and getting seeing that news, literally the first thing I saw on my phone in bed, and just being so utterly mortified and just thinking of those boys and Tex having to go and talk to everyone and all of that kind of stuff just broke. I think it just broke everyone's heart. And after that and going to the showdown after his death was just a really intense, that was an amazing, incredible game, and we got the win. But the energy at the ground was just really somber and moving, and such a big loss for the club.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just to think what could have been, and obviously a massive loss to his family as well. Clearly, we can't forget that.
Well, terrible situation the way it is for the family. So.
Yeah, that's shit. Grateo, the hardcores versus happy clappers stuff should have been dead a long time ago. Don't know exactly what he's referring to there.
I think he's referring to exactly what we were
might
talking
be a
about before.
variation of what we were just talking about.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure whether it was about something specific that he's seen. But
Dunno.
Corey said a chat about Sid Draper and also your tip on the next women's captain.
Ooh.
That's an interesting one.
Well, I didn't watch the under-18s they play on the weekend. I've watched a couple of games and Sid's been really good. So, I mean,
he's
definitely
had a bit of an interrupted year with injury this year, Draper.
Don't know.
I think he's been coming back a little bit under a bit of an injury cloud. So I actually think doesn't really matter how much we win this year. I think he's potentially still within our range. They're talking, like he was talked about sort of being top 2 or 3, whereas now he's being talked about top up to 10 or 15.
Is there some bolters?
Oh, yeah, there's always bolters. And, I mean, South Australia...
The trade radio talk has started already.
SA hasn't been very strong, and so there's a fair few Vic Metro and Vic Country, and even WA have got a few coming through. So
yeah, okay.
I feel like there's a chance that he'd be within our reach wherever we finish, because we don't have that much chance to get up very high.
Yeah.
No.
So, but yeah, no, he seems like really classy with the ball.
He looks like everything we need.
Explodes out of He's not very tall, is he? He's reasonably small.
I think
he's the 180 centimetre.
I think surely we've moved on from needing someone to be tall. We've got Dowling's tall, Dawson's tall.
Midfielders are all tall now, though.
Tall? No, they're not. They're not all tall. Lockie Neal's short ass.
Yeah, but he's done. He's 180. Sid Draper's 180.
When did Lockie Neal last win a Brownlow medal?
So he's 180. So is he off the board now?
Off the board for me. Yeah.
No, good.
If he's not more Bontempelli, I don't want him.
Yeah.
All
right.
180. I actually thought he was taller than 180. I just all that stuff in between. I was just looking up how tall he was.
Right.
But
yeah,
you were spot on.
Women's captain. What do we think?
Got to be Sarah Allen.
Yeah,
like she's already put her hand up. She's said it publicly, like she's willing to take it on. I know a lot of people think Noffy should do it, but I feel like
she doesn't.
Noffy and Hatchie are like those players that just want to do the work.
Yeah.
They don't want to do the captaincy stuff. Like, and that's cool with me. We don't need them to be captain. They're already leaders in their own right.
Correct.
So yeah, I'd say Sarah Allen, or even like I reckon Goldie might have a shot.
Oh yeah,
maybe as a smoky.
Yeah,
I'm with you on Sarah Allen. I don't know if she can still be the soldiers on if she's the captain though.
Would end of season trips be kosher?
Chelsea Randall would get a few votes soldiers on while she was captain.
True. Very true.
If Goldie was captain though, would the end of season trips get a bit out of hand?
Yeah, maybe. Between her and Chelbo.
Yeah, Chelbo. Let's get Chelbo for captain going.
I don't mind it.
I'm up for it.
Could be Sam Smokey for the captain. Who's your pick? Or Smokey?
Nah, it's Sarah Allen as well. Smokey would be EJ.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
But I
got a Smokey, Ben?
Oh, Smokey. Not really. No, I would have thought it's pretty going to be
Stevie
Sarah
Lee?
Allen.
Stevie Lee Thompson?
Maybe. EJ signed during the week as well. For an extra few years.
Gould extended as well, yeah.
Yeah, Gould's extended, and that was a bit of a worry because we were all concerned that she was going to go elsewhere. So we've got Prowse and Gould that have signed, and also EJ for 2 more.
Cool.
How good.
Hell yeah.
How good. I'm actually looking forward to the girls picking the year up at the end and making it a bit more positive.
Well, it starts pretty soon, doesn't it? Next few weeks. I reckon they start kicking off.
Well, don't they start in the bye before finals?
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah.
I thought they... Oh, is it just maybe pre-season is ticks? Yeah. Like, there's something starting in the next couple of weeks. I heard them talking.
Yeah, we'll be all over it by then.
Yeah.
That's where I think Dangerfield brought it up. He actually made a good point, I thought, where it would be... They could start in that mid-season bye if they just had everyone not play for a week and then just play concurrently with the men. So I just don't... I just feel like AFL is going too long and into areas that, I don't know.
I agree.
They're not thinking about podcasters who have to keep going. And we need a longer break.
I do a little bit of work for at Port Adelaide doing...
Hang on, what?
Yeah, sorry.
Say it again. What do you do?
I take photos.
You do work for who?
Take photos for
Port.
Do we have
Port Adelaide, Alberton.
Where's the fart?
Do we have a vomit sound?
Sorry.
Thought you'd been coming up pretty soft on Port lately.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, sorry.
Doesn't have a bad word to say.
But the person that runs...
not so bad.
The person that actually gets me out there is the media person for the women's team. And so I asked her this question about the season and whether... I don't know whether she would never hear that I'll say this, but she said from their, like she said, the players obviously prefer it over playing in summer, and there's a lot of positives from that sense. But I think that they have certainly noticed it from their perspective and the media side of things that there is that little bit of a drop off, because the season just feels like it drags. Even though it's a different season, it feels like that's just dragging on, especially the people who have lost interest because their team's crap. So
yeah.
Well, like as much as it sort of sucks because of tradition. Like the men's grand final seems like the end of the season.
Mm.
It's like
that's it.
done. Like you need to almost have it concurrently.
All the
on that
watchers have
weekend.
left after finding out that breaking news.
Yeah, sorry everyone.
Wow. We're still
There's a
going.
few comments in there. Sorry everybody.
Are we done with social
Actually,
media?
no, I just got one more little quick one. Oh no, we got.
Boz's selections as well.
I think next week we are renaming to the Here We Crow Power podcast.
I was up in Clare taking photos yesterday, and I had to take some of the new. They've built new sporting club rooms there, and they're amazing. Really quite impressive. But there was a women's, as like a school girls, I guess they were young. Playing footy, and there was one girl in this team who was just absolutely dominant. I've never seen a player on a football field look so much better than everybody else. It was so funny to watch. She was a gun, and then they had like half time or quarter, I don't know what quarter it was. They took her off. I think they had to like equalise the game. She didn't come back on.
Oh wow,
it was so good to
Had
watch.
30 possessions in a quarter, you'd come off.
She would chase. She would get. It was like 3 or 4 disposals in the chain, and then she'd kick the goal. It was just insane. Yeah,
A bolter.
Were the other girls like mad at her? Like, we want to actually play?
Oh, look, I don't know what sort of level it was. It was school footy of some sort, but yeah, it was very impressive.
Can I go
Hey, Jad.
do a buzzer now? Or?
Yeah, let's do it.
Hopefully it works. He said that there's a surprise, so...
With a twist.
Yeah, with a twist.
Is it Mrs. Bozzer? Is she going to be in?
Oh, for fuck's sake, the twist
Happy birthday to
twist
Mrs.
is that
Bozzer.
it's not
Mrs.
gonna
Bozzer
play
had her
again.
birthday during the week, I believe.
Lizzie said I could vouch for him. He wouldn't allow me to go out with him as I was a Port fan unless I switched.
I hate
true.
this thing.
It's a fair call.
God. How old are you, Lauren?
Talking about?
You have to get some glasses to start using the phone
No, this
soon.
thing seriously won't work. I'm going to need to get you to start playing them from the computer because it's just not working.
How old was she? Was that like a few years ago, Quirky, or?
You just having a conversation?
Oh, he just said there was a Shelley Nitschke used to dominate in junior footy up Clare Way. Also, Quirky, did you grow up down in Victor Harbour? He said he used to go to school camp down there. I didn't reference that back. Sorry, I'm just trying to pad here while old lady Lauren gets the phone
It's just
sorted.
probably not the worst
Bullshit.
idea to say his responses because we're not all reading it.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
just
90s, he said. No, yeah, it's all good.
while Lauren is getting that working, I'm just going to punish everybody with some fantasy chat. So, as all of you keen observers of our fantasy league would know, one team's been sitting last, anchored down the bottom, which is Harry Schonberg's Party House, my team. We've just snuck up this week, jumped 2 spots with the highest score in the league for the week, 2-3-1-3.
Good for you.
Where did that come from? And every other team, only one team out of our 4 won on the weekend. It was mine.
Young
Well-
Bean said, Lauren, please.
I know. Well, I'll have you know that this week it's Ben versus me, and then the week after that it's me versus Sam, and then it's me versus you, Dan. I'm pretty sure we're just matched
Well,
up every week.
Everyone's
from now
going to
on.
be
Look
devastated to hear that my form has dropped off. I'm making bad decisions.
Already,
Well, thank God this
already
week,
brought
Ben,
it up
'cause
by
I'm
saying
fucked.
you lost.
Is Bozza
All
ready?
right, Boz is ready.
And that was fantasy
Nah,
chat.
still not working. Wow, this is a piece of absolute shit, Apple.
Don't blame the phone. It's the
Selections
user.
tonight, no sauna, but special school holidays edition.
Is he actually
with
ever in a sauna?
Harper.
Hey!
Summer.
Oh my gosh!
Round 17 at Sizzler Oval. Out, 1 change, number 4 out. 1 in number 10. Roll peddler.
Oh, no.
See you next week.
Oh my God.
I want to play that again.
That's the best.
That's so good. Yeah, good.
Hey guys, bit of different selections tonight, no sauna, but special school holidays edition with
Harper and Summer.
Oh, Harper and Summer.
Round 17
legends.
at Sizzler Oval. Out, 1 change, number 4 out. 1 in number 10. Roll peddler. Go Crows. See you next week.
Oh,
That's
that
so
is
good.
perfect.
That's so
Bozza, you're fired.
Yeah, they're in
After in
next week.
summer, in.
I'm not sure if I'm the only one who finds it a little disturbing having someone that age talking about a Rolf.
Hey, they don't.
Only Bozza would get his kids to do that.
They're,
Thank you so much, Bozza.
Yeah, well
already
done,
on
Bozza.
holidays. And my kids aren't on holidays. yet.
mine-
Yeah, they go to
private
fancy
schools
school,
are on
mate.
holidays.
Bozza's on the big bucks.
Until next week either.
Really?
Yeah,
Are you private?
semi-private.
Oh yeah, that one.
Strathalbyn is pretty private
we're
up
not,
there.
We're not fancy private.
Yeah, it's like what I used to go to, Tatachilla.
Well, you can segue.
That'd be fancier than my private.
Oh, is it?
I'd
Oh,
say so,
okay.
yeah.
Let's segue out of the selections, which I agree with, by the way. I hope it goes that way, but I don't know about Murphy getting dropped.
I hope so.
well, we always hope so, but will it happen?
Like I would just absolutely love to see Taylor play, take Murphy's spot in the side, and then do whatever they need to do. With,
I'd even accept Pedler being the sub or Cook or something.
Yeah.
If it meant that Murphy got dropped and
Pedler's played sub pretty well before, hasn't he? I don't really like. I take that back. I don't like players that we want to see playing in the sub role because it means they don't play a full game in the SANFL.
Do you think Jones will be looked at for AFL
Yeah,
or
probably.
SANFL? So he
Probably
could
AFL.
do a sub role.
Yeah.
Jones.
that's true.
Yeah. I don't mind Jones being in there.
Well, speaking of, we've already started talking about the game for this week, so let's do it.
Oh, look, it should be Rip Snorter.
Yes, it should be Gary. This Sunday,
It's your
the
favourite
Gabba.
part of that one, isn't it?
Yeah, I love that one. It should be a Rip Snorter against the
I keep
Lions.
forgetting.
Lions are red hot at the moment. They snuck up to third on the ladder when they looked pretty down and out a few rounds ago. So they've just snuck up there. So I'm a bit scared.
Aren't they
Won't lie.
8th on the ladder?
I thought they were third. I looked at the wrong ladder, obviously.
Fremantle the third.
They haven't snuck up quite as much as I thought. Thanks, Ben.
No worries.
I knew you were here for a reason.
No worries. Yep, they're 8th, but since we drew with them, they have gone on a 5-win, 1-loss record.
Yes.
So
I was right in some way.
They have improved. Yes.
Tell us some more stats.
Similar to last time, they're still the highest rated for kicking and marking. 17th for handballs, so it's pretty clear the way that they play the game. And last time they killed us with that easy little chip down along from defence to forward line, mark after mark, and we just couldn't stop them getting that connection. So that's what we've really got to work on. They're a very different team to what we just beat in GWS, who love to handball so much, whereas, this one, they control it all the way. Zorko, McCluggage, kick mark, both Danaher and Long Nadal are fairly high for marks this year. So.
I wouldn't worry about Lockie Neal though. He's washed up.
Well, some say he's too short to play football.
I might also add that we did do a classic play, Long Nadal into form, I believe, after our game. He wasn't doing much before that.
No, well, yep, he may possibly come up again shortly in another segment.
Oh. We got another segment?
All right, don't worry.
You didn't really... You haven't mentioned that to me yet. Do you want to talk about it now?
Oh, we'll just kick the dick.
I'm gonna cut that one.
Give the kick to Dennis.
Oh, that one.
So we're right behind him, and the Carlton fans are right behind him. Once, twice, 3 times. Oh, look at that. Yes! He's the master blaster.
Can you make sure that sound bites at
I'll
the
get
start
that
every
clipped.
time? No,
Yeah.
just add it to that. So
Oh, is it?
says
Yeah.
at the start, kick the dick. Tell us about it. Long Nadal, you reckon?
I've just got him pretty much now for the rest of his career, a bit of a
Against the Crows?
Perma-Dennis for the Crows.
And him and Joel Amadi.
Yep.
Amadi party.
Yeah. So this year he's averaging 1.8 goals a game, which is probably a bit up for him. And he's got a career high of 66 fantasy points this year. So for his personal form, he's probably up, but I'd still put him in the category of average enough to play well above his abilities against us.
Excellent. Well, we shall see about that. I'm going to give it to Charlie Cameron. I reckon he'll torch us because he loves to beat the Crows.
I just think he's too good a player.
Yeah. Has he been this year, though? I don't know if
Not
that
really.
counts.
I think he's got enough runs on the board.
Yeah.
There's whispers about him leaving the Lions.
He's just extended.
Oh. Can I be right once tonight?
Yeah, you're the quizmaster.
Holy shit.
Where do you
Thank
reckon?
you, Sam.
Where do you reckon Jared Berry's going with his free agency next year?
I reckon he's staying at Brisbane.
He's also just extended.
Thank you. Good setup. Thankfully, I knew nothing about that one.
Yep.
So,
Yeah. So the late game on Sunday, everyone's favourite time slot. I know it's Ben's.
Yeah.
Well, it can't ruin much of your weekend.
No, that's true.
I dare say that playing Brisbane in form and at their home ground is going to be a bit tougher than out of form and at our home ground when we drew against them previously.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, are we doing predictions?
Yeah, let's do it.
I don't really have much else to say about this game. I think we're going to lose. I think Brisbane have too much to win, to benefit out of this game, that they're just not going to let us win at home.
Yeah.
I think they're going to probably kick away and make us look silly, maybe 38 points.
I think the only counter to that is they barely beat Melbourne, who aren't really flying. So
that's true.
And that was at the Gabba.
Yeah, that's true.
Melbourne without Petrarca.
Yeah, So I don't know. Well, it's not impossible. I'm not predicting it, but so I'll say we'll be competitive for a while, but they'll get a run on at some stage, and we will lose by 23.
Interesting point, Ben, about the run on, because that is something that Nixie went back to talk about, and how we stopped at GWS's run on, which we haven't previously. I don't know. Like I'd need a bigger sample size to prove that we're actually able to do that.
And Brisbane only won because they got a massive bit of momentum because they were crap until half time.
Yeah.
So they certainly are a team that can score big and quickly. So we're going to have to play for 4 quarters for the second time.
Not that I'll believe in finals or anything silly like that, but I will believe in Nixie's process a bit more if we can do that again this week against a tougher opposition at their home ground.
Yeah, I just think, if we can put in a good show, it means more of our players are actually continuing to develop, and hopefully things are heading in a slightly better direction than they have been.
But the pessimistic supporter in me says that I could see what Sam said happening. I think Brisbane by 18 points, which should probably say we did all right.
Honourable loss, as Young Bean
We've
said.
beaten Brisbane at the Gabba before at an important time of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no reason why we couldn't possibly do it again.
Particularly now it's not an important time.
No, I meant for their season. I'm gonna go with Lockie's tip of an upset. 2 points. I'm matching Lockie. In fact, I'm just copying Lockie. Lockie called it first, but I'm going to roll with it.
Look, if it happens, I will quietly be a little bit excited.
Chris Mills says it's a real Crows thing to win this one. And
exactly.
Yeah, he's absolutely right.
I'm buying into that.
Yeah.
I'm buying into the crom of all of this.
Oh.
Hang on.
Jeepers.
Hang on, that's worse than what I said about Port Adelaide.
Put me on trial. Put me on trial. Fire me. You can fire me.
So Sam,
what was that button?
Sam's supporting another club, and you're changing podcasts. Is that right?
Not in this lifetime, mate. All right, we done?
Yeah, we're pretty much done, aren't we?
Let's get out of here.
Yeah. Hey, thanks everyone on the chat for being in there and I'm like stuttering tonight. I've had a headache all day. Sorry, guys.
Don't forget. Now, I forgot to plug this last week, but don't forget that you can shout us a beer at buymeacoffee.com/herewecrew. Now, I know you love the episode. You guys loved the episode last week because Bix was on with us for an hour.
Yeah.
So, what's a $3 beer to pay for your entertainment? Just saying. If you've already donated, you don't need to. But, come on, guys. Buy us a coffee or a beer.
We'll also look to get another player on pretty soon. It's obviously now if they can start winning, it might be a nicer time to talk to them. But and also, I'm just going to put this on the record, but we are going to look at some women's merchandise leading into the women's season. So stay tuned.
Can you stop spruiking that until we've actually got a product?
No, that's the point. Spruik it so we actually do it. All right, thanks everybody. We love you all, and we'll see you all next week.
Thanks, people.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you, Ben.